Yo, we are live with my brother Alexander. Uh, man, how did I find? I found your content. I found your content on YouTube when you
Yeah,
first went to Cape Town, and
right.
I was like, man, this brother gonna take all the girls. He just gonna be. But no, it was dope, man. It was dope to see you there and knowing you're from LA and you are from LA, right?
Right, right.
Okay, so yeah, so LA, that connection, I was like, oh man, this is a brother going to SA, doing his thing, modeling, showing the people what life can be like. And um it's inspiring to me, man, because it's not many of us that did that. So
Yeah,
I love to see it. um you know I know takeoff and all that stuff happened. We're going to get into that,
yeah,
and deeper conversations around your content, because you talk about this stuff all the time. This is not new. It's tragic events happen, but you've already preached this, within the Black community, that we need to have accountability and stuff like that.
right.
Um, but let's start off to, like, you. What was SA like, man? What was South Africa like, man?
Man. Well, before I get into that, I also wanted to say when I think I came across your content too when you had reached out because I was like, before I got to SA, I was just looking up. I was like, oh, Americans in South Africa, and then
Hmm.
your content, and then I came across that other guy who was out there a lot, and like his channel was blowing up. Um,
Oh,
name,
is it
but
is it Jules?
yeah, yeah, Julian,
Yeah, yeah. Jew got juice. Yeah.
right, right. And so like when I seen him on your page, and you were like, "Yeah, I'm from Los Angeles," and like I was like, "Oh, he really from LA." I was like, "Yo, that's crazy," because again, from where we're from, that's not even a thought to even think about going to. Well, for one, leaving California, but going to Africa and going to Africa and stuff like so.
Yeah, man.
You, it was also very inspiring because I was like, okay, like I know I'm on the right path. Like I know I'm doing something right. The fact that someone else from where I'm from is out there as well, like it let me know that okay, I'm doing something right. So I also was very inspired to see you out there, man, like for real, because you were out there way before me. You know,
Yeah, yeah. I think I was out there before you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
But SA, man, it's words can't even describe it, to be honest. And I don't know if it's like a placebo effect, from because as you know, when you travel, usually we travel for a week or two. But when you go somewhere and you're there for over a month, 2, 3 months, it hits different because you have to adjust to your environment, to the people, the way that people talk to each other, the food, just your whole environment. And so
yeah.
I think that was I don't want to say it was a culture shock. It was just more so like a mental shock. Like I was just like, wow, like I felt at peace. I felt happy. Because back in here in the States and especially in California and stuff, there's just a lot of we put so much pressure on ourselves, and when you go to other countries, we see how they're just more like, yeah, we don't go as hard as Americans. Like I remember seeing something where they said they were in. Somebody said that they were in Europe, and they seen how the Americans was just like working, 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 and it's
Mm.
we've been wired that way to be basically robots. Whereas in other countries, they're like, no, we're gonna go to work, but we're also gonna enjoy life. We're gonna enjoy our friends and family. Like they take pride in that, and I definitely appreciate that for sure.
Yeah, man. Oh, it's definitely life changing. And I felt that way too. Like, is it a placebo effect? Like, it's when you're in SA, it's like being it's like being here in a different dimension. Like,
Right.
I don't know what this, you feel me?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Whether it's the air, the water, I don't know what it is, but literally I felt different
Yeah.
instantly. You know, LA, I feel stressed sometimes. I just walk to the corner store. I'm like looking, making sure niggas not walking behind me. Like for real. Like
Yeah.
you just you on 10 and stuff goes down there too,
Right.
but it's just different, man.
If
It's just
exactly.
different. So um
Man, I feel you on that. On the it's different, like and like you said, everywhere we have to be on our, we have to be on guard everywhere. But like being on guard in LA or Oakland, Chicago, Detroit,
yeah.
Baltimore, Memphis, like all these places where we know at any given moment. But I mean, but at the same time, I guess it's kind of the same for someone else coming from another country, like they're on guard. But at the same time, they're probably not because I remember meeting a lot of South Africans or just like other countries I've been, and they always say how the way that America is portrayed to them is that it's like this heaven, like it's this magical place.
Mm,
They're shocked when they see things that happen or when we tell them, like they're like, oh yeah, we never see any of the bad unless they like really follow it. And so I think that has a lot to do with it as well. Like when we travel to other countries, we're kind of aware, like, okay, we know, don't, like if you go to Mexico or something, don't go off to a whole other area because you may run into the cartel or,
right.
you're very careful. Whereas when they come to America, they're just like, I'm here in America. Like I'm here. I'm gonna be and just do whatever I want to do.
Right. Which is not what's up.
Right. But I don't know. It's just different. Like it was. I don't know. I think for me, it would have to be the people, man. Like the first day I was there, I told myself I was like, okay, I was gonna like rent a car and stuff, but I was like, nah, I'm gonna walk everywhere and Uber because I really want to like get a feel for it and see everything because like if you driving everywhere, you're not gonna see everything. And so walking, I went to Long Street my first day, and one of the first stores I went into, I met this guy from Congo, and I was just like, wow, like we talked for like 3 hours and didn't even realize it, you know.
Yeah.
And time just went by, and he was telling me his story and how long he's been in SA, and it was just it was moments like that that made that trip just speechless because I ended up being there for almost a whole year. A 3 month trip turned into almost a whole year to
Yeah.
where like I felt like I was South African. I was like I don't ever want to leave. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Um, I feel the same way. Yeah, it was supposed to be a month. I talked to one of my friends that had been out there,
Mm.
and I was like, yo, I need to get out of the country because 2020 was crazy. And she was like, yo, go to South Africa. And I was like, okay, like, all right. Like I never thought of it. You know,
Right.
I was like, I've thought of Africa, but like I didn't have like a place,
Right.
right? Or a country in particular that I wanted to go to. And, you know, went out there, didn't know anybody. Um, Zoe came later, other people came later, but I didn't know anybody when I went there. I literally went by myself in December 2020. That was the first time I went. And
That's right. You did go
yeah,
went back.
yeah, right. So so I felt it. It was like, and that trip was supposed to be a month.
Right.
And I was like, uh-uh, hell no. Like I'm looking at how much Airbnbs for a month. And I was just like, yo, this is incredible. I can see it in my mind. Like I was staying in CBD, and I'll put you on the spot if you haven't been. It's this nice building in CBD, and the surrounding area is kind of like, but when you go inside, oh my God, it's just beautiful. I don't even know, it's like condo, the whole place has windows.
Right.
So like your whole shit, like it's not even a wall on one side. Just you're looking out at that view, and you know that Joburg skyline, man.
Right.
And between that, the food, the people, the I'm a piano, you know, and then in doing content and seeing what that did, I
Right.
was like, yo, like this is something.
It's
This
a
is
it's a certain energy there that makes you want to like. I was, mind you, like I wasn't even doing YouTube, and my friend Taylor was there, and she already had been doing YouTube, and she was like, yeah, like, just do it, just do it. And I had to
yeah,
use ads, but like I hadn't done YouTube in that way.
yeah,
Because I felt very, I've never been like super public, like my personal stuff. So I was like, I don't know if I want to vlog things, but I was just like, I don't even care. I was just like, it's love out there, and obviously I was being very aware, but it was just like, I was just like, I don't even care. I just want to just show the world, and especially show our people
yeah.
that y'all can be here too, obviously with the right resources and stuff, because that's a whole other
That's a
conversation
whole nother. Yeah, yeah,
regarding why a lot of Black Americans don't travel and stuff. But yeah, man, I feel you on that. Like on everything you said, I agree. Like I've never not met anyone that's been to anywhere in Africa that didn't want to stay. It would like,
yeah.
even if they had like some bad experiences, the good outweighed the bad, you know, because I'm sure, I had like run-ins and situations while I was there, you know,
Oh shit. Okay, I
very,
didn't know that.
but I never like talked about it, but it was some things that happened a couple times, but it's like that happens everywhere. It's life.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
never
yeah,
know. I remember you talked about it on one of your lives regarding like one of the shootings. It's like at the end of the day, anything can happen anywhere. I remember Iman Shumpert was just talking about this on Vlad TV. He was
yeah.
like, TMB could have happened on Rodeo Drive, or any,
Yeah.
it could have happened
It
anywhere.
almost did happen on Rodeo Drive. Yeah, he had a situation before, so you you're right, man.
Yeah,
Um,
but yeah,
you're
yeah, like seeing you and Julian, and seeing that people for some reason, yes, we know about the other countries in Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, those are like the popular ones, but like South Africa, it's almost like it was a hidden gem from us in terms of like Black Americans, because obviously like other people knew about it, but a lot of Black Americans weren't hip to South Africa until like the last couple of years. Because if you notice, all the celebrities go there now. I was like, oh, we started the trend. Like, us out there, they saw us. They saw.
yo, yo, you would be, or maybe you wouldn't be, so surprised um who watches your stuff. I didn't had people hit me or like stuff that I'm just like, what?
Right,
You what you
right,
watching my
right.
so, and I'll never forget Monta Main. Do you know Monta Main?
Yeah, yeah,
He was one of the first people that hit me up, like somebody with a following like that.
right.
Um, and he was like, "Yeah, my people told me about you." And I'm like, "What?" I'm like,
He-
hold on. And I wasn't there. I was back in LA.
right.
You know, people still thought I was. There's some people probably still think I'm there. Um, but I
Hey,
wasn't like trying to, because I was like, damn, I don't want to tell him I'm back here yet. Maybe I could post a little bit more. And he was like, bro, we got to shoot something. So, you're right, bro. Celebs, people are looking. I've seen people do stuff that I did, and I get it. I don't even look at it as like people jacking or anything.
no,
Like, you're supposed to do that. You're supposed
exactly.
to be inspired. If I do a yeah. So, but I love to see it. I'm like, oh wow, okay. You picked that up from my video and you went there too. That's what's up. Like, people are gonna like that, and it's still inspiring because you're giving a different take on it. Um, like it's but so to kind of like reel this into the whole takeoff thing.
Hmm.
We just saw what happened with PNB Rock.
Yes.
What up, Charles? Charles is another homie. I'm gonna
What
see
up,
him in Cape
bro?
Town. And I love how we all know each other. It's like it really is fam. But we just saw the PNB Rock thing
Right.
happen in LA. Um, we're waking up to take off, getting shot. It, it it's like we deal with so much trauma in Black America. Um, and I want to say culture, but what is the culture? Like, are we creating it? Is it being sold to us? Are we being told what culture is, and then we emulate that instead of changing the narrative, so to speak? Like, nah, this ain't culture. Like, I heard Candace Owens talking about, she was like, I don't want to be a part of Black culture. Like, if that's what Black culture is, we've kind of accepted this in hip hop, uh, in film, though I think music is more influential because it's supposed to be real. Like film, that's fake. Boys in the Hood. I don't think nobody saw that and was like, I'm gonna shoot somebody. But listen to Ice Cube, and you think he's really about that, and he's
Yeah.
talking about it, and he's wearing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's more real life, or supposed to be. It's being sold as that. How how do you feel about that, man? How do you like, what is your perspective? And especially seeing what Black culture is in South Africa, which their rappers don't get shot. You look at uh Big Zulu and Casper are beefing, but nobody's talking about I'm a pop you ain't. It's a different kind of vibe. Like they go out and hang out and play soccer later. You know what I mean? Like, so
It goes very deep. Um, it we have to well for one we have to start with how we even got there. You know, they brought guns into our communities. So that was the drugs and the guns, that was like the start of it. But then even before that, there's always been a since slavery and stuff, when they started to divide black people, that was that was the start of it. So they conditioned us and brainwashed us into where we're the only race where, and Iman Shumpert was talking about this as well in his Vlad interview. He was saying that we're the only race where we can't throw on a nice watch, nice jewelry, nice clothes without someone being like, "Oh yeah, I gotta go and rob him or kill him because I'm jealous. Oh, I'm mad. Oh, I gotta go
mm,
lick. Oh, like let's go rob him." Their people don't do that to them, you know, like, and it's just and it's crazy because we have to really be aware, like in LA, we have to really be aware with what we wear,
yeah.
and like it's crazy. It's crazy, and it's really unfortunate because we've allowed the brainwashing to get us to a point now to where it's hard to even blame the others. It's like at some point it's up to us now because you have a choice. For all the people that's grown up in those type of environments where there's a lot of crime and violence and killings and gangs, drugs, you have a choice at the same time. Like obviously it's a little bit harder than others because some are born into it. You
Mm,
know, like the situation with YSL, one of the guys that's recently been charged for a separate murder, he said that he got groomed, which is true.
mm.
Gang politics, that the older gang members, they go and get the young ones 10
The
years,
OGs. Yeah.
they groom them. So,
Hmm.
oh, that's my little soldier. Oh, that's my little, he next up. So it's like it's a reoccurring cycle to the point now to where it's like there's no love. We
Yeah.
don't value each other. We like, oh yeah, it's just so it's basically it's a dog eat world now for our community,
Mm,
whether you're a celebrity or not. It's like if you're black and you have something that someone else has that they don't have, it's you become a target, which is why
facts.
and people always ask about, well, what about the black actors? Black actors that are from those areas, they stay out the way. They don't do too much. You got black actors that's straight from the hood, but what do?
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm chilling.
Yeah.
YG is a perfect example of someone who he went through it. He got shot, and then he was like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm good. Chilling now."
He took a step back. Yeah.
He's rarely in Compton. He's he be like, "Nah, I'm nope,
RP Slim 400, man.
man."
That's what that. Yeah.
He got killed right down the street from where one of my aunts lived too. So like
Jesus Christ.
he felt safe in the area where from where he was from, that was a enemy's territory,
Mm,
and he felt comfortable. And is it what it seems like with a lot of these rappers, a lot of them were feeling comfortable, untouchable, invisible, and you have to know if you're a rapper and you come from a street life, even if you don't represent that anymore, you still got people from back in the day where they like, oh nah, like he still gotta get, whatever, payback
yeah.
or cases, like you still got enemies that you have to deal with. Which is
Yeah.
why 50 Cent is a prime example of someone who don't take no, he got bulletproof trucks and everything. Because he
Mm,
already know I can't escape that, but what I can do is just, have the best security and take all the precautions that I can. He moves a different way now. He You have to, so I don't know, man. It's tough because it's like I don't even know what we could do. It's to me, it's like it's a lost cause, and obviously, I want to be optimistic and really think the best, but it's like it's only getting worse, and social media has made it worse because in the music industry, because that's the music that sells. You know, killing each other is sex and drugs and crime sells. You know,
yeah.
so we're literally telling the little kids, "Oh, it's okay to go and do this," to the point to where they're acting like they're tough, and then they wind up getting killed.
Right. 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 They
So,
don't know the consequences, or they do, but they don't think it can happen to them.
yep, exactly. And
Yeah.
to piggyback to Takeoff, we already know Takeoff has always been that typical guy that's in the streets, but he be like, "I'm chilling." He not trying to start no problems. He was, according to some of the reports, he was just in the cut chilling. He wasn't even. He was just being him.
Yeah.
Quay was the one who was involved in the actual altercation with their own people. That's what got me. It wasn't even
Yeah.
enemies. It's their people. That's
Man.
the craziest part.
That's crazy.
It's
Yeah.
it's like I don't know, man. It's tough, bro. Like it's tough. It's because we're so used to it now. Like the internet has made this just normal. Because obviously this has been going on before we were even here. When our parents and grandparents were younger, but
Yes.
it's like every day we're seeing someone being killed. You know, people. The worst part is that
Prominent people.
yeah, the worst part is that people go and record the bodies and then they.
Mm,
I think that's even more of a problem. Why are
yeah,
we so quick to let me record this and post it on the internet or let me post
yeah.
it like that's a whole other sickness.
That's the next level. So when so I knew Nipsey,
Yeah,
right? And we weren't best friends, but like his shop, I lived in Inglewood for a long time. And I
yeah,
used to go to his shop. I was on his music. Actually, I was on his music before I even moved to California. I moved to California 10 years ago. So
right,
that's how, and when I met him, I was like, no way this is him because he was by himself. He didn't have any security. I'm like, Nick, I'm like, that can't, I'm like, I couldn't believe it. I was stuck. Cause to me, I'm like, you already a star now. Maybe in his mind at that point, he's not there yet, right? Um, and I used to always go to the shop. I would see Black Sam. I met Fats before he got killed, and his best friend got killed like right,
yeah,
before him. So um, you see that, right? And when he got killed, they filmed him and they put it on the net. And I never looked at it. I didn't even look at the video that just showed the evidence, like
right,
whatever happened, like the surveillance where it wasn't that graphic. I didn't even want to see that.
right.
Um, but I think when that's done, it is to all right for sure, Stace. Um, I think it's meant to send a message. Like maybe the kids that are filming it is not intentional, but stuff like that shouldn't even be allowed to be like you want to censor stuff that
Right.
should be taken down. That shouldn't be floating on Twitter or any platform. I think that's meant to send a message to us that no matter how far we go, we still Iggas. Like we still are almost like when they used to do public lynchings,
Mm-hmm.
um, which is kind of what's happening with Kanye, and you've seen other things, right?
I talked about it the other day. They're Willie
You
Lynch and Kyrie Irving.
and Kyrie Irving,
And
yes,
even he didn't even make any comments. That's the craziest part. Like he didn't even make.
he just shared it. Well, they've been on Kyrie's ass since he didn't take the
Oh yeah,
shot, and I posted that other like he's getting residual, like OJ, like, are we still mad that you got away with that? So you can't do nothing. As soon as they found OJ could have jaywalked and
mm-hmm.
they got his ass up out of here. So that's for me, that's what I believe is going on with Kyrie. So yeah, him saying anything. But I do love that those brothers speak their mind. Though yay, there's a line there. Um, I can't say I 100% agree with everything, but
Right.
90% of what he at least says, I'm like, okay. And then it's a 10% where I'm like, but those brothers are, it's the whole shut up and dribble. Ye even said it, even if I got $1 million, I'm still a nigga in a coop or something. Like,
Yep.
it's that they don't care that they could lose it all. They're still going to say what they want. And I think that's the thing that once you get to a certain point, that you have to shut up.
Yep.
You're going to lose your sponsorship. You're going to lose your money. I know it's people because I've even done it and I'm not at that level yet
Right.
where you want to speak on things and you're like, oh, this going to have people on my I might get, taken off this. I wanted to talk about the shot and I was quiet during the pandemic. So it's a really interesting thing that those brothers are still like, yo, we willing to lose it all. I think people should look at that. I think some of the other leaders are too cowardly to say anything.
Oh yeah.
People love Jay-Z, but he be quiet on a lot of things. I
He
think I think
got somebody. I think it was. I think Faison Love said something. He was like Jay-Z is he said something, but it was like the perfect analogy of it. It was just like, he does enough to where he stays good with black people, but then he
Mm.
to where his hand, where they be like, okay, cool. He not doing too much for the black.
He give us a little sprinkle every now and then. He's like, hey, here goes
Exactly.
some crumbs, nigga.
Cool. Oh, cool. Because like what you said, like I'm
Yeah.
I'm not I'm not famous or anything like that, but like um you know some of my former like representation and stuff, like they told me at one point a couple years ago, they were like, you got to be careful with what you say on the internet because clients are looking. You're never
Mm.
looking at your stuff because it's true. It's social media. You never
Yeah.
know come across it. And I used to go ham a couple years ago, like especially all that stuff was going on. I was going ham, and it probably did affect some things with if
Wow.
it's like I can only imagine if I was actually a celebrity. I'm like, oh yeah, they would probably kill me or something because
Yeah.
I'm not holding back. And if we go down history, like look at how they did Muhammad Ali. You know,
Mm.
they were a big fan of him. He was beloved by those people. And then as
Mm.
soon as he got drafted and he said, he said, I'm not going to fight a white man's war. They said, oh,
Mm.
really? Oh, we
Yeah.
put him in jail. And he said, I'll do jail. I don't
Yeah.
care. He was like, our own people are still enslaved here. Why would I go fight in another country for y'all war where their people are enslaved?
Mm.
And when has the military ever did anything for us anyway? We've helped them in so many wars, and what they do as soon as they got back to America, same thing, nothing changed.
Yeah.
So it's like
Deuces.
they did it with
Yes.
Bill Cosby. As much as
Mm.
people, yeah, he had his wrongdoings, but he had that power, and he wanted to take over. I think it was NBC or something. I don't know, but he wanted real power, and it was like
Mm.
slow down. Michael Jackson,
Michael Jackson.
him
Yeah.
from Beatles catalog. They was like, you don't have the money. He was like, watch this. Michael was a gangster. He was a
Yeah.
gangster. He didn't,
Yeah. Yeah. I keep hearing that.
but it's
It's from
like,
Gary, Indiana.
yeah.
That's a real.
But we see it with so many of our black leaders. Bob Marley. There's so many people where if you speak out, it's game over basically.
Yeah.
If they can't control you, and see, they don't like Kyrie because they've never been able to control him.
Mm.
See, LeBron knows how to. He does like Jay-Z. He knows
Yeah.
how to weave through it. He'll do something where it's like, oh, because if LeBron was to come out and like be on some Kyrie or Kanye stuff, they
Yeah.
what to do because he's bigger than it's LeBron James. You
Mm.
So
Yeah. No, I see. Yeah. Yeah. LeBron. I've seen LeBron step out there, but then he kind of took a step back. You know what disappointed me? Um, that he didn't drop that gay interview.
oh, of course not. That's
I was just like, bro, what the fuck? I mean, unless he said something on it, which they could edit out, by the way. Even Drink Champs had an opportunity, right?
exactly.
But so that just seemed more personal, where it's like, we not gonna drop it because we stand with whatever. And you
Mhm.
know, Braun got so much money. I think he's a billionaire now. I
Yeah,
want to say he is. But if it's not liquid, he could still lose. He's gonna lose it if it's in, yeah. So it's just I'm constantly seeing that narrative in life and as I do content, which I like. I'm very introverted,
yeah,
um, which I assume you are because you don't really like putting everything out there. And so part of me is like, man, I don't know. But the other part is I do feel an obligation to use my voice. My grandmother always told me my voice was a tool was powerful. I should speak up. She always used to say that in school. Why don't you speak up? Why don't you? If somebody tried to bully me, if a teacher did something that was, crazy, or not right, she was like, you need to speak up. And I took that one day, and I do music. I've done a lot of things that use my voice as a tool.
Right.
That's why I love potting, right? And I see that there's always this fork in the road with everything, every issue, whatever. It's like you either go on, your integrity comes into question. It's
Right.
like, man, do I speak on this? I need to speak on this, or I need to do this. It can even be an act. Yo, I need to do this. This ain't right, you know. And then it's like, man, I might lose this. I might lose money. I might lose that friend. That family member don't want to talk to me no more, because I said something that they didn't agree. Like people are like, which I think is crazy. Your opinion now is just like get you cut off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like from it's like, or you lose your job, whatever, right? So it's like that's crazy to me. But so I'm finding the balance. But definitely when I get to a point where, if I had bronze money, I'd be like, F all y'all. I'm gonna
Yeah.
say what I want.
That's
Um,
like it's and like what you said, our voice is the most powerful tool because
yeah,
but again, like Malcolm X and all of them said, uh, um not even like educated, but like just an intelligent black man or even a black woman is the most dangerous person in America and to the world, specifically in America, because if you can speak truth and you speak it in a way where people are like, nah, like he's speaking facts, they
yeah,
go, oh, whoa, hold on for a second, so it's like, but it's funny though because the world, man, the world we live in a crazy world, bro. Like because it just I don't know, it's just they have so much control, like they control everything. Like I'll just say this, like and I don't even care, but like if they were to ever see it, but like some of my team, they're you know they follow or whatever, like they're basically, some of them are Jews, and
okay,
I seen some of their posts, and I was like, I saw theirs, and then they seen mine.
mm.
We haven't talked,
Oh
but
wow,
now if we ever were to have that conversation, it would, yeah. And so it's just like, this is very interesting because they control everything, At
yeah,
the point we did have our own, but look at what happened. You know,
mm.
the times we did have our own, they took it away. Because again, they were like, oh, they the hatred for us to be in control and have power is something that we will never be able to fully understand and explain.
Mm.
Like I just seen something on Twitter where these kids in Utah dressed up as prisoners but blackface. And they were like, "Oh yeah, I dropped out of high school, so I don't even care whatever happens to me." So it's like
Jeez,
they have so much comfortability and confidence to still go out and do this regardless of the consequences. They're like, "We don't care because we know that we're good," which they are.
mm. Mm.
They are. They know they're good. They have generational wealth. They have the power. They have the control. You know,
Mm.
it's like, can you blame them? It's like I try and look at it from their standpoint. Like, well, this is what I've been taught. This is what I know. I know that
Yeah,
my dad is the mayor. My dad is a senator. My dad is the chief of police. My dad works high in the government. My dad is this and that. Because we do the same thing as black
yeah,
people. We have people that have connections. We're gonna use them, you
yeah,
know. But
absolutely.
how them and what the reasons are for is the difference. But they control everything, man, and it sucks because it's like you know, what can we really do? Like Diddy has a lot of control and power, but we already know about Diddy. You know, he's done some questionable things. So it's like,
Yeah.
but he has spoke out. You know, he's like, "Come on, me," and he was like, let's get our own NFL team. You know,
Yeah.
all the other blacks with money. He tried to get everybody together, but
Nobody.
nobody. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
always think that's weird, man. Either they don't have the money they say they have, or they're just scared to lose it. I think once you hit a certain point, um, like you said earlier, I'm not famous, right? But to somebody you are.
Right.
I'm sure people were stopping you in the street, or if they saw you on your YouTube or whatever, like people did it to me. Like to somebody, you're somebody. So like we may look at a millionaire, a black celebrity is a millionaire, like, damn, they a millionaire. Like, I want
Yep.
that. And then once you get that million, then you looking at Jay like, oh man, he got a couple 100 million. I want like he now you still don't feel right. You think once you like trust once you get it, you never feel. I
Right.
know millionaires and they be like, yeah, man, but my boy got 10. What?
Yep.
Like what? Like you won. Like what do you so that's the
Oh yeah, he got houses in every state. He got a condo.
yeah. 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 So it's an insecurity there, is what I'm saying. That like we think, if Diddy says all of us should get together and do this and nobody's stepping up, there's
Okay.
something there. It's not what we think. We don't, we all, we think they have it all together and all. No, not necessarily. And then not everybody wants that. Not everybody wants ownership. They're
Right.
comfortable playing that role and they're going to get, the money they get. And that's what makes them happy. I think it's few people that really are in that position that want to, like, in a genuine way, give back and uplift other people and have ownership and do something for future Black generations. And the ones that probably don't even have that position because, like I said, it's a certain amount of your integrity that has to be lost to do certain things to get in that place. So it's a double-edged sword, man. It's like a very weird thing.
Exactly.
And you know, um it's like I said, it's the reason why something as simple as like Kendrick is where he is and Drake is where he's at. Right? And we can argue about who's more talented, but you could see how Kendrick moved. He wouldn't do the things right. That's the best.
That's the You mentioned Kendrick because like he's a perfect example of someone who does speak out against things, but it's like he just does it in a way to where they're not gonna mess with him. They're
Mm,
oh, okay, yeah, he's talking about injustice and all of that, and like he says some things about Jews, but like he's never, it's like I don't know. I think a lot of it has to do with reputation as well. Like Kanye has always been known, Kyrie, and I'll give you another example of how the world is. Um, a family friend of mine, Deshaun Jackson, that's in the NFL. I don't
I
know if
know Deshaun. I know of him. He was friends with Nip too, right?
yeah, he got
Yeah.
in trouble with the league and the media because he posted a quote from Hitler and then something from Farrakhan, and
Oh,
he went in like, and it was just like, oh, he's racist and all of this, and he was just posting things to uplift black people, but of course they created the narrative that it was this, and of course people ran with it because that's
yeah,
are. They're easy to be programmed and brainwashed. And once you create that narrative, one person, everyone else is gonna follow suit.
right.
You know, crazy because like we're at the house and I'm talking to his mom, and she's just like, "This is crazy." She's
Yeah,
watching her son literally being like attacked, and
yeah,
like to the point to where it was like they made him go. and talk to Holocaust survivors, and like it was crazy. Like he literally his NFL career was almost done. Mind you, he already been in the league for over, this was like 3-4 years ago. So he's already
Mm.
career. But it was just the fact that like that little post like that could have like
Makes
ended.
yeah, yeah.
And so it's like what I realized is, but they've always told us that, like my grandparents and them and my family, they always taught me, they were like, as a black person, you can't say anything about anybody else, but you can talk about your own people all day long. Oh, they'll like
Mm,
that. And
mm.
look at, and I look at it with media, like look at reality TV. They allow us to get up on there and
Man,
but it's like
now look at that track.
TV, and it's so sad
Yeah.
because most of the women in my family, they all watch it, and they literally
Mm.
get together and talk about what happened on the previous episode. Oh,
Yep.
I can't wait to watch. I'm like, this is the problem. They're sitting back in their offices. They're like, oh yeah, we know that they'll take a check and go and act a fool, even if
Yeah.
fake. Just the fact that we allow ourselves to be shown in that light is the reason why. That's one of the reasons they don't take us serious.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like if we don't take ourselves serious, they're never gonna take us serious. Which is why back in the day we were at our most powerful because we were about business. We was like, nah, we were together, which is why the Black Panthers was that was a man. I would have loved to have been able to see that, like up close to really get that feeling, that energy. Cause like that was a time where we were at our most powerful, and they knew it, which is why J. Edgar Hoover and the CIA and all of them. Oh, they're terrorists. They're terrorists. We have to go and infiltrate, which they did. They used our own people against,
Mm. Yeah. No, there you go. That's
and
right.
nothing has changed. They're still doing the same thing. They're using our own people. Whether you want to call some people coons or whatever the case is, they do the same thing. You have people in the media that will appease to the white man
Right.
and say what they want to say. Is I don't know. It's crazy, man. Like,
No, that's facts. Hold up. Oh shit. That's crazy. You see, I'm gonna show y'all this. Let me show y'all this. I was looking at my
oh,
painting. I have this. I keep this in my window in my kitchen. So I looked over. I was like, wait a second.
that one is
We
nice.
just talking about you. Yeah, man. I got it. I got it from a black artist in Venice.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, man, you're hitting the nail on the head with a lot of what you're saying, and even back to um, the takeoff thing, man. It's just I see one. You're right, like using our own people, right? Like our own people are killing our own people, and um, I posted like, "Do Black Lives Matter?" You know, if it's one of us, like if we're killing our own people.
Nope.
And yeah, and that's a very, and you would get called a coon for that. It's like, oh, this is not, and I get it. I understand why it started,
Right.
right? And we know the corporation side of it, did some janky stuff, but I do think I was out there marching. It's documented. I think you protested as well,
I
or
did.
did you do any? Okay,
No, I didn't. I didn't. I'm all for it, but no, I didn't protest because I was just it was COVID and stuff, and I had just lost my uncle, and I was just like, nah, I was just chilling. I was chilling. Yeah, I didn't.
got it. Got it. Because you say you were going wild during that time, so I wasn't sure
Yeah,
what you were going wild about.
right,
Like
right.
if it was just about the thing that they wanted us to take, or if it was BLM.
It
But it
was.
was a lot.
I was more upset with BLM itself, because um throughout history we've always seen organizations like we never truly know where the money is going. It was always I always felt like BLM wasn't what it was supposed to be, you know? Like with any movement, like I look at any movement like that, it always becomes something more than what it was.
It gets infiltrated.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, like,
So
you know, um, yeah, yeah, I'm
so yeah,
for protesting, like I'm all for it.
yeah.
Um, I didn't have a problem with it, Uh, yeah,
I was just trying to make the point, like, with we keep seeing this, we keep it's like a bad dream that it's reoccurring. We wake up to it.
right.
It's not going to stop. I even like joke like I could just do content about rappers getting killed. Like that could just be my content.
That's why
Is as much.
yeah,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. I could.
that was his whole content. That
That's his whole content. And he posted about that. I mean, yeah. So, um, Black Trauma is definitely for sale, but I didn't want to do it. I don't want to do it in a way where it's like I'm just trying to get clicks off it. I want to have real discussions about why it's happening, what's going on.
right.
Um, you know, we, you know, we keep seeing this. We seeing it with people that made it out. They got money, but they still maybe hanging with the same people, still doing the same things. Shooting dice, like you said, like that's regular, right? But it's regular, to those of us that grew up in the hood, and then once you get out, do you still take those same risks? It's a gamble, and you're literally gambling with your life. Dudes get mad. I remember, my brother playing basketball, and people would try to get in fights and stuff. Like if you in the hood, it's like you got to be careful because people don't take that stuff lightly. And if you have people from the hood that are around you, which is still hood mentality, you can leave. But if you still have the same dudes, if you still hang in the same circles, if you still carrying and projecting that same energy, it can happen to you. You know, how does this pattern get broken? And do you think it's influence, with a takeoff like the music? We heard the Migos music. We know what they about. They have the cool singles for the suburban kids, but we know what they about and what they preach, and even their label. If you look at all their label mates, what they about. So, what do you think it can stop? You know, do you think it's the music, number one? And do you think it's a pattern that can actually be broken, or we just have to learn to live with this? Basically, like this is just going to be how it is.
The music definitely made it. The music definitely has a big contribution to it for sure. I mean, if we even, just looking at how with hip hop, when they stopped the rappers from making conscious rap and they came out with gangster rap, that was the start of it.
Mm,
Point now to where you have rappers, um, you have rappers who aren't really street dudes, but they pose as one. They're not even, the labels literally go and get someone that's not street and will make them into this whole, um,
persona.
yeah. And
Yeah.
just that alone is why I think that it won't change, because it's so much money. It's so much money to be made from that type of music. As long as hip hop is around, that's not gonna change.
Yeah.
Like all the rappers, and it's so bad now to where all the rappers, that's all they want to rap about. You got NBA guys that rap about it. like Miles Bridges, like he's
Yeah.
a his music is good, but in a lot of his songs, he's talking about this and that and this and that. And I'm just like, dude, like,
You live in a gated community.
yeah. So it's just so normalized. And obviously, you know, if you grow up, if that's what your everyday life is, that's all
Mm.
you can really rap about. I mean, I'm not saying you can't be conscious or like, rap more. I don't know. I feel like back in the day, the way that street dudes rapped, they did it in a way to where it wouldn't cause more violence. I don't know. It's because now you make a diss song, or
Oh, it's
it's saying f the ops and they're
yeah.
out the names. Like look
Yeah,
at
they're dropping names.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
So
when in that whole area with Ty rap, like that was a crazy time because we hadn't seen anything like that. Like even in LA, we didn't have LA music beat like that
yeah,
compared to how it was in Chicago. Because I remember I was a freshman in college and I was listening to like I was in Chicago, so and I was just like, oh, but it and so I'm like, and so I come to a crossroads because I'm like this music, but should I really be listening to it? And some people don't, or like don't ever sit that, in my home or in my car or around me. They're like, I don't want to listen to it at all.
yeah,
I don't like 21 Savage. He got in trouble for his hypocrisy. He was like, oh, we need to do Atlanta. Your whole career was made off of talking about.
absolutely.
So again, like, how can we really stop if that's how they're eating? I
Yeah.
like because I don't think people want to hear 21 Savage being conscious. Like I don't know. I can't even imagine. It's like Kendrick coming out and he's like being a trap artist. Like you can't even that wouldn't
You
even sound.
can't even see it. Yeah.
I don't know. So
I mean, Drake did it. But no,
Drake different, bro. That's
Drake did.
different.
And they're doing a collab, which is
Yeah,
crazy.
right.
Um, I'm really interested by his choices. Drake is half Jewish, let's not forget. And
Exactly.
he chooses, and I know why they say he does it, but it's interesting to me. Like how he chose Future, where
Mm-hmm.
he's like the complete opposite. He's a street rapper, tattoo, you know what he's talking about, right? And then he got 21 to do a collab. He makes a point to choose the most hood, toxic gangster rappers to collab with.
Lil Baby, and he did it.
Lil Baby.
He interviewed, and also he's done it where they were like the biggest. Because when
Mm,
21 Savage was Future was, I mean Future
hmm.
still, but like, at one point, oh he's killing it,
Yeah,
and then Baby, now Baby is the top.
yeah. So it makes you wonder whether he's doing it when they're at the top or they're being chosen to be at the top
I
for
think it's
what they're talking.
I think it's both.
Got it. Got it. It's interesting, man. But
Baby was
it's
definitely, in my opinion, he was an industry plant. From what I looked at in that documentary that dropped,
mhm.
he was an industry plant. He didn't even want to rap.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
He was like, I already make this money. He was already making a lot of money, so he wasn't tripping off
Thug
of.
said they said Young Thug paid him to rap
Yeah,
like he made. Yeah,
they taught him how to actually like do 8 bars and stuff and how to actually rap. Like
that's crazy. Yeah, it's interesting. And then you see what's going on with YSL, right? So yeah, these Rico 50 was saying this back in the day about being careful about what you put in your music. But that's what I'm saying is that the line is so blurred now where if you say something, you got to stand on that. You got to
Yeah,
be that. You know,
right.
it's not the WWF anymore. It's not WWE. It's like no, no, no. You talking about that? Even with this takeoff situation, I saw a video of not of him hurt, but of when they were on the way.
Hmm.
Quavo was in the front seat. He had a gun on the seat. You know, he was like, "We in the city," and he made sure you saw what he had on. And I'm like, "Yo, you coming with that?" The same thing with P&B. He literally says like, if a dude try to rob me, like, you know, I ain't
I
going for that. Like, yeah, it's like you're saying it, and I'm not saying that um people saw that and was like did it right. It could go that way too, but on a meta hold up, sorry, on a metaphysical level, when you're saying things,
right.
you putting that out there in the universe, and
I
I'm
agree.
yeah. Oh, okay, we got some. Yo, so maybe the algorithm is sharing this with people because I know Southside don't follow me. But shout out to you, bro. Yeah, Jay Prince is a real
Yeah,
stepper. We'll say that.
yeah,
And
yeah,
he's an intelligent dude. He got out. I know that what I do like about him, as much as he's who he doesn't preach that. Anytime something's happening, he denounces it. Like if it's beef, he got Drake out of some stuff. I think it was the Pusha T stuff,
yeah. It
or
was
maybe it was Meek. He was either Pusha or Meek.
a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so that's the responsibility I'm talking about. When you get in that position, then you're like, no, we don't want that. You
Yeah,
know, I think Big U is kind of like that too. It's a couple dudes. I've interviewed Freeway Rick Ross. He's like that. He actually would always, if they got in beef, he would be like, let's not shoot. Like he would do the opposite. Like we don't want to do that. Like
right.
we want to did this. So I get it, but I'm just saying the energy, and not that you're not supposed to protect yourself. Like I believe in protecting yourself, especially if it's self defense.
I agree.
But don't even put it out there. Like when I was in SA, I went to the shop to get something to protect myself, and I was gonna post it, and I was like, "Yo, if I post this, that's like." You already know what it is. It's like giving the vibe. It's like, oh, so now you know when you see me, you gotta go hard because instead of just being surprised. Like I always want to just be on a place of defense, not often. Like I don't want to press it. So I just thought that was interesting, seeing that and seeing how it played out. I agree with a lot of the points you made when it comes to the industry, and I personally don't think it's ever going to stop. I mean, as long as hip hop is around, which I think.
That's what I'm saying is as long as hip hop is around, and and honestly, it's getting worse because it's like the young, it's they're looking up to them, so
Mhm,
we're telling them that I can be in order to be a rapper and make it, I have to put on this persona. I have to get the dreads. I gotta have the look.
mhm,
No, it's like the drug. That's just like how that period where all the little, everybody had the dyed hair dreads and they were all talking about drugs and then, some of them, had passed away from, overdosing and things like that.
mhm.
But like I'll come at it from another angle with what happened the other night with P. Diddy and the actor from Power.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Me and my friend, he was like, oh yeah, Diddy pressed him, and I was like, no, no, actually, the actor, well, his name is Michael J. Ferguson or Two Bit. Everybody know him as Two Bit. I
Two
was
bit, yes.
he did what a man is supposed to do, and a man that has money now and is of status now because he didn't know that was Diddy. This is Halloween.
Yeah.
and somebody talking to you crazy dressed up as the Joker, Michael J. Ferguson, you could tell people don't know he was 1 foot in and 1 foot out while he was filming Power.
I didn't
So he
know that.
that too big character, like he really
He
from the
really brought that.
and so like I'm like from what I saw, Diddy did impress him. It was more so of Diddy being Diddy, knowing that I got these world class security with me.
Mm,
Nobody gonna touch me because I'm Diddy, which he
mm,
right. Like who gonna do something to him? Like you getting knocked off instantly if you try and touch him. But
right.
Michael J. Ferguson, he was like, I don't know who this is, this crazy dude. He played that well because let's just say that was just a random person and he beat him up or whatever,
Yeah.
lawsuit,
Yeah.
career, like you. So it's like you got to gauge every situation differently, and again how you move. Like Migos, I went on Quavo's story, and like just like what you said, like they showing everything, the car, the jewelry. It's like to me, you're asking for it. To
Mm,
me, you're
yeah.
asking.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. 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 I mean, yeah, as
um,
so to speak, you are asking to, because when you do it, you, you know, it's all about energy, man. You're right. You're presenting yourself in a way that people are going to want to test you, and then you have to respond. So you are like, it's all about the energy, man. Anytime I see,
that's that feeling of
yeah,
you feel untouchable.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Think about it. You're the Migos. You're worldwide, all over y'all global stars. Y'all can go to any country and sell out. It's the Migos.
yeah,
So they like, oh, we in Houston, we good. We with our people who got us.
right.
Nah, it's sad because Takeoff is a good dude. Like, like I got to see the Migos a lot of times, and Takeoff is really like just super cool. Like he really is that dude where he just be chilling. He not trying to start problems. Like he really cool. He's very unproblematic.
Mm,
Cause like I've seen them fight one time at a concert. Well, it was more so a show, and like they don't really start problems unless like somebody just like Offset. He's gotten into a couple altercations at shows and stuff. Like they always get into it at shows with people, but
yeah,
it's that situation that happened. That could have happened anywhere. We all know somebody pull out a gun and start shooting. Any bullets don't have names on it. Even if it was targeted for Quavo, you
right,
see, Takeoff was the one that got hit. That
right.
happened every day where an innocent bystander gets hit by stray bullets. Happens every day, and it's just sad because, I turned 28 in a week. My
Oh
birthday,
wow!
and I'm
Happy
like,
early birthday, man.
thank you, thank you. And I'm just like, I'm just thinking back on, my life growing up and how a lot of my cousins and friends never made it past, 20 or never made it past 25 or never made it past 15, 16. So
Yeah,
it's a year for me, I'm just thankful because I'm like, man, it could happen anywhere, anytime. Like it probably could have been some situations sometimes in SA where, something could have happened bad. Because we know
yeah,
what countries, it's not so much they shoot you, it's more about you may get stabbed, you know,
yeah.
and that's and that's
Kidnap. That's
that's
worse. Yeah,
because that's up close.
yeah.
So you don't see it coming. Whereas what
Oof.
kind of like, okay, oh, he about to, in the States, oh, I'll be right back. You know what that means. They about to go to the
Yeah,
and get
yeah,
it, or you know, so it's like, I don't know, man. It makes you not even want to go anywhere
yeah,
because it's like, dang, like what can we do? I don't know. I guess my question for you is, what do you think? How can we move forward? I don't know. I don't even know what to ask at this point. It's like I don't know.
Yeah, man. For me, as a content creator, I feel the same obligation I felt in 2020 when things were happening, and I wanted to at least bring attention to it, talk about it. I think that's the first thing. Communication is like something that is so, you know, it's detriment in our community because a lack of it has caused a lot of things to happen. Even the dice game. In the dice game, if the nigga's mad, you be like, yo, you can have that, bro. You can have that. You can have, I'll get that money back and walk away. Like, you can talk, like, just communication is key. I used to work security in Miami. I was armed security at King of Diamonds.
Okay.
So I know, the first thing they tell you is to de-escalate. Like, you don't, even if you got a gun on you, you could pop somebody, and it's wild, wild west down there. But you want to de-escalate situations. So I think communication is key. I
Yes.
think emotional intelligence is key. Um, you know, I think that I think that being a content creator, if you're in position of power, you just have to at least put out the right messages. You're responsible for that. And I think that should be responsibility in the music as well.
Right.
Even if you talk about things from a perspective of this is a story, that's cool. But then denounce it.
Hmm.
Like, I did this, but this was wrong. Like, I'm giving you both sides.
Right.
The push a T. It's like, I'm gonna give you the good and I'm gonna give you the bad. Like, I'm
Right.
gonna let you know. Uh so yeah, I think we're going to continue to see this. I said it when P and B Rock died. This is not the end, and which is unfortunate. Um, and we have to learn to filter what we consume as well. Don't look at that video, whatever videos floating out there of him, just because it does do something to your psyche. Being a black man, being from the hood, like, when you see somebody that makes it out and they're successful and something like that happens to them, we immediately go to that could be us.
Right.
That could be us. It's really us. You said it, and you went SA. I was in a situation too, and I fought dude off, and then three other dudes pulled up. Like, if that was LA, that would have meant something different. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So it's like that could be me, and knowing that could be me, you know, and something could still happen to me, even if I do everything right and I'm a
Right.
positive person, I treat people nice, because they say it was a stray, right? Like, you cannot even have something to do with the situation. Make sure you're protecting your circle, who you have around you, protect your energy. Like, it's so important. I'm so big on who I tell what to, and who I share stuff with, and who I keep around me. Like, it's important.
Definitely. I agree. I agree.
So,
You have to change your surroundings. Like, and I'm sure it's the same with you, like as you got older and as we start to experience more, you know, I think that's why traveling and I'm not even saying travel out the country because most people have never, the states in terms of like leaving their state and going to another state. Just get out, travel, go see some stuff, go see that it's a whole other world outside of your reality. Like I had to let go of a lot of people that I grew up with because I was like, okay, I'm headed down this path. I can't associate myself with that no more because I already know, two or three things is gonna happen. I'm gonna wind up dead, in jail, or homeless. You
mm,
And usually it's dead or in jail for us
right, right.
as a black man. And so I'm like, I'm gonna do everything in my power, and sometimes some people gonna feel some type of way, whether it's family or your former, or your old friends. Oh, you changed up, they love. Again, it's only our people where we'll call someone, oh, you Hollywood now. Oh, you changed up. Oh, you think you all of that. It's like, no, I want better for myself. Like, we should all want better for ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still go to the hood and stuff sometimes because some of my family still lives in the hood. But even how I move around it, like, I'm not outside. I'm not standing
Right.
outside up on the block,
Right.
like, I'm not,
I'm not
no,
posting it.
yeah,
Like,
no,
yeah.
I don't even post half of the time wherever I'm, even that in itself, because you just never know nowadays. Like,
Right.
I can feel like I can say all I want of, I know I can feel like, oh, I don't have any enemies, but you never know. It could be
You
somebody
never know.
that's like, oh, he think he all that because, he got X amount of followers on TikTok. He think he all that because he's blowing up on this. He think
Yeah.
he's all because of whatever the reason is. And so, it's like we have to just move in a certain way to the best of our ability, and I'm just thankful that I had people in my life that, that taught me how to move correctly. And
Mm.
through life experiences, like we've all made mistakes in the past, but you get to a point to where you like, okay, I can't do that anymore. I can't do this, I can't do that. Like I don't
Yeah.
even certain places in LA anymore, because again, you're taught not to go. Like growing up, we never went to that Roscoe's. Since I was a
Yeah.
little kid,
That's crazy.
we never went to that Roscoe's. You never go
'Cause
there.
y'all knew. Y'all knew. Oh, wow.
But it's most.
That's crazy.
Have you ever heard of Louisiana fried chicken?
Yes.
It's a Louisiana on Manchester and it's Manchester and like Vermonters, or like Manchester, Florence. It's one of those streets, but like it's a Louisiana that don't nobody go to because anything can pop off and things do pop
Wow.
moment. So we know the places of like, okay, you don't go to that burger spot. Just like remember what was that
Is it snowfall?
on Boys in the Hood.
Elbows in. Yeah.
Remember how they rode up on them
Oh, at the burger spot. Yeah. That's a
that's
real spot. See, yeah.
that's real. Like that happens all the time. Like if you, because they know, oh yeah, they hang up around there, so we know
Yeah.
that there.
And
Just
if
like
it's like one way in too, like if you can't just, yeah, nah, it's
so
a trap.
it's crazy because I don't know if you do this too, but like I think this speaks for people from all over the world or the states in terms of like even parking in parking spaces. I pull in backwards because I'm like I want to be able to get out
Yeah.
when when I'm at an intersection. I don't try and get too close to a car because I don't want to get closed in. So it's like it's little things like that
That's facts.
that you kind of just have to start doing.
Bro, I do all that
It's
stuff.
feel me
I walk on the side of the street where like cars are. Like if it's no cars on the other, yeah. So if
right.
somebody shoot and hit the car first, it's it is kind of traumatic. Like it is kind of PTSD, right? But it's also survival. Like being paranoid is actually
A good
you're yes. It's like you're telling yourself, so you're like, watch out for this, watch for that. Because you should be aware. Of course there's like a extreme version of that. But yeah, you should be aware. And I did this morning. I always leave like my gate unlocked. So if I have to run in, I'll leave my door locked, but I can run in the gate if somebody was like running up on me. Um the car thing I do, it was something. Oh, my cousin told me this when I was like 15. He took me to the corner store and he left me in the passenger seat. And he left the car running. And my fucking woke ass was like, oh man, he's wasting gas. So I turned the engine off. And he got in the car. He was like, don't you ever fucking turn the engine off. what if something happened, nigga, and I had to, you know what I mean? So like, even if that, if I had somebody else in the car, it's like just those little things. Yeah. So you learn that, man, and it's it's sad, but it also is like survival.
Yeah, it's
Um,
reality, and honestly, I've met people that didn't grow up in that type of environment, but they became military, or they got in these careers where, like, a lot of like Navy SEALs, they don't wear sandals like ever, because,
yo,
so you feel me, so it's
this
like
is scary, bro.
it's
I
the
literally, I'm gonna tweet this shit. I literally, I'm so serious. No, this is scary because literally this morning I was talking about that. Is that when I see dudes with Crocs or flip flops, I'm like, they not about that.
yeah,
Because if I have to fight, if you gotta run, how you gonna do that in that? So if that's the reason you were about to say why they don't wear flip flops,
yeah,
right?
because
Okay.
it's because of those, it's those reasons, and also like when you're driving, your sandal could like slip,
Oh yeah.
like place your foot, or if you get stranded somewhere, like say your car doesn't work and you stranded on the side of the road, and all you have is,
Mm,
they don't wear, um I think it was like just little things. Some of it was like a little bit extreme, but it's like, I get it. It's like, I get it, because you want to be prepared for whatever. I know some
yeah.
skills, and like a lot of like military people, they don't wear hoodies, because a hoodie
Mm.
used against you. You have your hood,
Oh yeah, they can pull. Yeah,
so it's like, now
that's
I
smart, man. That's
but
smart, but it's real. It's
but
real, man.
some people don't wear shorts and stuff. Like, I don't know, it's a multitude of things that some people don't do, and it's like, I get it.
You
Like my
know?
was a Marine, and I don't think I've ever seen him wear sandals that much, like ever.
Wow,
He's either in dress shoes or boots or something. Always. He like, oh,
that's
I'm
crazy.
prepared.
That makes sense. Yeah,
Oh,
my queen was in the Air Force, and yeah, she don't never wear no flip flops. She wears tennis. She's always ready in her own way.
yeah.
Like I give her crap, but she's actually pretty intelligent, and she has photographic memory too, which
He
is
like,
like
I'm gonna
crazy.
be good if we ever in a situation.
Yeah, yeah, we like let's do this. She gonna hold me down. You go in the ceiling and you pull out the duffel bag. um,
But like, but again, regardless of all of that, you can still get taken out regardless of
yeah, yeah,
things happen. But I think it's more. I think the difference is that certain, especially for some reason, a lot of rappers, they get comfortable. They get comfortable because, going back to Takeoff, like, let's just, they're in a bowling alley shooting dice in a bowling alley.
mm,
That right there is already, that's a problem in itself. Why are y'all shooting dice, gambling, like,
yeah.
for what?
With niggas you don't know because if that it's that'd be crazy if they knew them niggas. Like they had to not know them for it to go down like that.
Well,
Um,
yeah, I mean, more info will come out, but so basically, obviously, so they were in Houston, and the people that they were like, the people that was supposed to be like their security, like the whole check-in shit, that stupid stuff.
yeah.
They're called the mob, the MOB.
Oh, I keep seeing this. Okay.
So it was the mob with the Migos, like they were all out together. So this
Mm,
is just, all of them together, and obviously they felt comfortable to just be like that with them in that environment. So they had to have met them before, or whatever the case is. They obviously felt comfortable, because it's the same thing how Bootsy would come to LA, and Nipsey will always like take care of him with like his own
yeah,
security, cars and stuff.
yeah.
So that happens all the time. But my thing is, y'all couldn't wait to gamble. Like y'all couldn't wait to shoot
Yeah,
dice. It's that like it's that's the problem. Y'all
yeah,
couldn't y'all couldn't just enjoy bowling.
yeah,
Y'all
yeah,
gotta and again, like what you said, we already know how that go with shooting dice, because somebody may think you cheating, and then if you lose
yeah,
a lot of money, somebody talking mess, and now
yeah,
you dealing with a dude who got way more money than you. So
yeah.
whoever was up, whoever was up was talking mess,
Which
and
I heard that Quavo wasn't up. I
yeah,
heard Quavo was losing.
right. And so I'm picturing Quavo talking reckless, like that ain't man, that's play money for me. Like,
Yeah,
all right, what? I got da 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 da. Da. So he like,
yeah,
I'm I'm just picturing how the average street dude would take that. Like, dude, what?
yeah,
Nobody
yeah,
he's scared of you. All right, watch this. I'm about to get
yeah,
place.
yeah,
So it's like, oh,
yeah. And there's reports that it might have been one of his boys
right,
trying to.
trying to,
Yeah, so it sucks, man. It sucks. It don't even matter. It don't even matter, man. He's gone, man. And
that
that's the yeah. Because that is something that I know that's a trauma response for the Black community. And I'm gonna wrap this up in 5 minutes because I gotta get back to working.
yeah,
But I I appreciate you coming on too. By the way, it was
oh,
been dope. We gotta do this
oh,
again.
yeah, for sure.
But what the fuck was I say? He it don't matter. He's a trauma response for our community is to place the blame.
Mm,
So it's people saying it was Quavo's fault because he got into it, and if he didn't do that, then Quavo. And then it's people saying, like, I guess I even did it a little bit, but I'm more so talking about prior to, because the situation itself, we can say Quavo, it's Quavo's fault. It's this person's fault. It's that person's fault. It's the person who shot him fault. Like with P&B Rock. It was his girlfriend's fault. She
right,
should have never posted a pic. It's like even if those things contribute to it and may be true, which we know in P&B it wasn't. Dude was already watching them,
exactly.
right? And nobody comes back to apologize after that. That's interesting.
Yeah,
But so at the end of the day, I think that's how we respond. We respond to things. I think in general, but especially in the Black community, it's always like it's this person, and like imagine his nephew. I thought it was the other way around because Quavo looks younger, but that was Quavo's nephew.
right, right, right,
Um, dying, and you have to deal with that, and then people are like blaming you online. It's just like accountability has to be set, and that's something that we're allergic to. Accountability. It's like, no, it's the dude that shot him. It's
right,
his fault. It's that guy. He didn't have to pull it. Even if it was somebody on his team, he didn't have to pull it.
right,
You know what I mean? He didn't have to do that. And then when somebody dies off that, somebody should be held accountable. Um, that person alone. We can speculate about everything else, but it's like accountability, man. And it's something that we don't like. If you talk about BLM, if you talk about, Black people being poor and not having ownership, it's the white man's fault. It's this person's fault. It's never our fault. It's never, like I could have done that. I could have, and it's something that's helped change my life. And I constantly work on. And I see it through my content too, because it's what we say is on record. You know what I
right.
mean? So we got to stand on it.
Yeah.
You know,
If you
if
don't
you're
stand for something, you don't stand for nothing.
exactly. So I'll leave it at that. When you were asking about saying you like I don't know what question to ask, but what do you think accountability, more accountability amongst ourselves within the Black community, or if you want to call it Black culture, what we call Black culture, if there was more accountability, man, we would see a lot of things change. It wouldn't be perfect,
Right, of
but
course.
we would see a lot of things change.
All right.
Um, and I appreciate my brother Alexander coming on, man. This has been amazing.
Any
Shout out to
anytime.
everybody for sure, brother. Shout out to everybody who came through. Zoe, Thomas, Robert, Charles, Stace, everybody, man. I appreciate all y'all. Got some new followers too. Y'all go check out his channel. You want to shout out your IG, whatever you want to.
You guys can follow me on IG, Alex Jones, I. That's where I usually post all my content. I haven't really been on YouTube that much lately, but yeah, you guys can follow me there. And God bless. God bless you all. Thank you, bro.
Absolutely, brother. It's been a pleasure having you on.
Likewise.
Thanks, yo.
All right, man. Stay safe.
Sure. You too, brother.
All right,
Peace.
peace.
All right, y'all. Peace from Khalees. This has been amazing pod. We'll see you soon. And drop in the comments what y'all want to see. If it's topics, y'all can always hit me directly on my IG, which is Khalees8, Khlis8. TikTok, same. My Twitter, Khalees_8. Hit me up. All right, y'all. Peace from Khalees.